like card of the week, which is going to be Heliconessus.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, Heliconessus. Then what was that?
Then we just go into my hypothetical suggestion or hypothetical scenario, kind of like a fake mod. No.
Oh, all right. So you've got
Fake
a
mod.
mock-up of one. You just don't have an image for it.
Yeah. I have an interesting idea.
Yeah, we can workshop
Yeah.
it. Yep. All right. Cool.
Yeah. And then I don't know. There weren't any more major tournaments. There's like the Winter Cup over the weekend. So there isn't anything else. We can just like keep on talking about.
Yeah. Well, we could just like. Well, there was the Winter Cup. Did you say?
No, it's coming up this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll just quickly take a squiz to see if there are any decks that I think are interesting.
Everyone can hear us, by the way.
Oh, hi everyone.
This is the pre-show.
Hello.
This is the pre-show.
Welcome to the pre-show. I hope you're enjoying yourselves out there, folks, and such.
The pre-show somehow less organized than the main show.
Wow, only very slightly. Only very slightly.
Who needs organization when you've got pizzazz?
Because yeah, we talked about Worlds last week. Not last week, week before last, because we went on last week.
Yeah.
I love.
How was Worlds? I
season...
couldn't really watch it.
It was pretty interesting. Like, I don't know. Everyone like didn't go too far out of their box because it was only like 2.5 weeks after Opus 7 got released.
Oh
so
yeah.
everyone was just like playing mainstay decks with like additions, with the exception of you know, Mono Wind Jury.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a couple of modifier decks, but the ones that did really well was just
Wind Water?
Mono Water for Soya. No, so the problem with Wind Water and the Worlds format is that it takes two very good elements.
Oh yeah.
Right, so you'd rather split it up over other elements.
Didn't one guy bring 2 Wind Water decks? Was that as something else?
Somebody bought.
There was one of the decks in the finals had wind into it.
Oh okay.
Had Water Wind and Earth Wind. I'm not sure about this year, but last year definitely. I remember people bringing in like 2 or 3 Wind Water lists. I don't know how they managed that Opus 3, but sure. Yeah, for anyone that's just joined, it's just a pre-show. We don't want to just put some music on.
Probably just me.
I don't know, there's somebody on Twitch.
Oh. Hello.
Hello. I don't know if that was too much. Anyways,
shall we get this show on the road? What time are we scheduled to start, Murad? Isn't it 7?
Yeah, I know. But like, by the time people get like the notification and stuff, see, we got a couple more people. We want to start with like, you know, a couple more people right here.
Alright. If you say so.
The other thing is, yeah, quite recently there was like a lot of debate on how to build Mono Lightning, and Chris just like recently shared his video on like his take on Mono Lightning. Basically, the main argument was, is it worth to put 7-drop Wood into Mono Lightning?
Well.
Which is a really interesting
I'm
argument.
Curious as to what the verdict was. I haven't seen the video.
You mean what Chris's verdict was, not as opposed to like
I want to know what they thought.
Different people.
Discuss it in the segment.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
All right. Okay.
Okay. We might as well just start now. Yeah. Unless you want to do something before we start.
No. We should get this show on the road.
Very, very smooth transition into actual.
Yeah. Yes.
Push
Okay.
the button. Push the big red button.
Starting soon. A big red button. I already pushed it. Okay. Doesn't matter. Hello, Mugglers! This is the #1 Potato Boss coming at you for the last episode of Season 3, the last episode of 2018. I don't know what it's called yet, but we'll have a name for it.
Yes.
Today,
Yeah.
we are going.
None of us are sitting next to Murad today. Not
yes.
a
God.
one.
Yes.
We are quite literally phoning in the last episode.
We're phoning it in, like, you know, partly because I screwed up, but also partly because we want to try new things, right, guys? Anyways.
Oh well, I think a lot of it is because I'm a bit sick right now, so I get to cut out the coughing with push to talk.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
But in reality, right, we are positioned next to each other in some way, in form, in space. So I'm pretty sure
I don't have an especially complex understanding of astrophysics, but
No, it's not astrophysics. It's literally just like unidirectional movement. Like to the right of me, there is, you know, I'm pretty sure it's Jared and Chris, and to the left of me, I'm pretty sure there's Kevin somewhere. Anyways,
I'm probably very fast out.
I think you might be wrong.
you don't know what direction I'm facing.
You don't know what direction we are relative to you.
Yeah, I do. I know that way is the city and that way is south. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I'm here.
Yes.
Murad's here.
So we got Jared, and we got Kevin, and we got Chris. Chris, why are you so quiet?
Hello. I was just letting the badness subside.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. We're gonna go to the card of the week. We're gonna talk about why it's good, why it's not, and all sorts of stuff. I have up here Helicanassus.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
one
come
of my
up.
favorite cards from
yeah.
Opus 7.
Okay, so Jared, do you wanna introduce it to the audience while I try to get this sorted?
Sure. So Helicarnassus is a forward, a 3-cost 7k queen from category 5. When Helicarnassus enters the field, all forwards opponent controls lose their abilities until the end of the turn. And it has an action ability: dull, discard 2 summons, choose 1 forward, break it. So quite a handy water card.
So a little trivia about this card, okay? So when you first encounter, I'm gonna say her, just for the, when you first encounter her in the game, Final Fantasy V, oh, I should not have that. Give me a second. When you first encounter her, she turns your whole party into frogs.
Oh. Okay.
Loses all your abilities.
Yeah, and I think the toad spell. So I think and it actually hits, because you know how the toad spell, you know, historically in Final Fantasy is really hard to hit. This one is guaranteed to hit your whole party, and then you have to try to wait for it to wear off while she's, you know, hitting you, and then you finally get out, and then you finally try to heal yourself and try to counter and all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So it does have flavor. It's one of those things where it's like that it has flavor and it's a good card, but I think it's so good because they tried to make the flavor good. Does that make sense?
I, having not played 5, you know, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's a good way to translate Toad, I think, onto a card effect.
Yeah. So
that is the most frustrating status element.
Yeah, but it rarely hits.
Every time I've played a Final Fantasy game and like been unprepared for enemies that know Toad.
The unseen Toad.
Or like when you try to cast Toad, it never works like 20 times in a row. You're like, why do we even bother doing this?
What a waste of NP.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing is that FF5 is the only version where she is portrayed as a boy or as a man.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's really complicated. Okay, so
the job is.
So in the game, right? She is a king. So I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by giving her a bad pronoun, or like, you know, incorrect pronoun, but I seriously do not know what kind of pronoun to use, because like she is essentially a guy. She is she is
a guy.
She is
okay.
she is a king, okay, But she tries to like whatchamacallit? She tries to seduce Bartz by showing up as a woman and giving him the kiss of death. But then Bartz like snaps out of it. That's the kind of thing.
I'm looking at the
I guess that would make him snap out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's a master of illusions.
Yeah. But then every other like incarnation in Final Fantasy 14 and other Final Fantasies, Helicarnassus is a woman.
Okay.
FF5 is the only one where she is a man. Like I said, I'm sorry about the pronouns, but I don't know how else to say it.
Well, in 5, it's somebody trying to fool the enemy party, right? So,
yeah.
This is just the form that you see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
And so, I think she presents herself as the queen, but it's actually the king.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a master of illusions, I mean, just doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like in game,
apparently,
you know,
you can turn a whole party of adventurers into toads. Just
Yeah.
at a whim.
And then you could ignore their abilities and just smack them in the face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like
which is really the most important part of the card if we're gonna
Yes.
the conversation back to
One of the most important.
I mean, like other people have pointed out how this is like, you know, one of the things that water needed in those matchups.
There are a lot of water decks that this card like is almost necessary for now, just because there are so many matchups that
it's one of the only cards in Water that say break anything.
Yeah, there's that, and that first line of text gets around all those irritating, otherwise untargetable forwards.
It's okay. It's
like I can shoot gull wings now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's okay, Jared. It's a safe space. You can let out your emotions.
What's more, if somebody ever decides to play an Imeric against me for whatever reason, I can play her first and then still burn him to death.
Wow.
That's gonna be good.
But Jared, you see, Minwoo is a backup.
Minwoo! The infinitely cooler forward Minwoo.
Yes. He doesn't really get affected.
Yeah.
I've been using
you know what you can do. You know what you can do now, Jared.
What?
You can actually kill something with Phoenix now.
Yes, by discarding it in another summon.
No. Like you can actually do 8k, and that will kill something because Kurosame is going to lose his abilities when we bring back.
Yep, that works too.
I'll be allowed to kill the relevant thing.
All the ice cards that are huge.
Yeah. Why are ice characters so huge now? I remember a day back in Opus 1 when they were tiny. They was tiny. They was.
Well, actually,
Clear was Dark Knight.
Yeah.
No, wait. Back in Opus 1, they were the biggest that they were, weren't they? Back in Opus 1, the most popular ice build was Squall Laguna, and they were 9k apiece.
No, but like all you had to do was like bounce one or kill one, and then the other was tiny enough to kill it. Or like in our tiny Opus 1 meta, like the scary ice card was Dark Knight. The deal 1k to all your opponents forwards.
That was my board wipe. Yeah, this is before Zala existed or anything. Opus 1 is just I'd stockpile up to 5 cards in my hand. There weren't even any flans, so I couldn't easily get up to 7 or anything. Be 5, and then I'd just dull on my backups from 4 of them. Discard 5 cards, and that's 7k to my bonus board. That was usually a board wipe.
Yeah, back in the good old days of Opus 1.
And then Mumba came out in Opus 2. OP combo!
Which one?
Mumba.
Oh yeah, Mumba.
Yeah.
Oh, Mumba.
I don't know, Mumba seems so good on paper.
Mumba is fantastic for me in Opus 2.
Every time I have cast a Mumba, it has killed something. Because I've had a Palamon play, or I've just broken a summoner.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, because I cast it once and then I killed the forward.
No, I've cast Mumba quite a few times.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I've seen your ramblings of Fire Ice back in Opus 2.
My terrible Fire Ice builds
Hey,
that are all about like increasing the amount of damage that I'm otherwise doing.
You have gone through a lot of Fire Ice builds.
Look, it's always an interesting diversion.
But anyways, the other thing is like just gravy on Heliconesus with the discard 2 summons.
Whoa! Not just gravy.
I think Kevin's argument is that's the more important.
When you have like 25 summons in your deck, it's pretty useful.
Yeah, but
in those mono unit decks.
But Kevin, this isn't a Minwu. This doesn't require you to have 25 summons in your deck. Right?
Well, yeah.
You can play it regardless, and that's why it's good though.
Yeah, like her first ability is still pretty much always going to be relevant.
Yeah, pretty much. But even more so when you have 25 summons in your deck, because then you really need to get rid of summon immunity.
Yeah.
True.
And nothing beats top decking 2 summons with Heliconesus on board, like 3 turns in a row.
I'll delete this thing. Thank you.
Delete it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that same deck you use the new Yuna, which is... you can talk to us about your experiences with that Yuna.
Oh yeah, we could save that for like the deck discussion maybe?
Sure, yeah, no worries.
Good plan.
Yeah, but...
It's also, so Category 5 is slightly more relevant now as well, right? With Faris and Bart.
You can activate it with Bart's and then use its ability again. Ho!
Just got 4 cards, kill 2 things.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good.
Just recently, James Lockwood of the American community, he put up like a competition saying how many Barts are in Opus 7, right? Or like, you know, depicting Barts in the artwork in some way or form, right? Do you guys want to do some quick maths to try to figure out, or do you just want to know? It's very interesting, huh?
Tell us.
So there is actually 7 Barts in Opus 7. Isn't that blazing?
Of course there.
Are you saying Bart or Bard?
Barts. The main character of Final Fantasy 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about bards the whole time.
No. Bards.
Because of the card that makes you put a discard whenever you attack with a
Oh,
bard.
right. Yes.
BARTZ.
Yeah, TZ. You know, Gilgamesh art has Barts in the art, and I didn't even know that. I didn't even.
Wait, really?
Yeah, go look it up. It's right there. In the top left-hand corner. That's like, Barts.
Just building off of that, the Category 5 synergy I brought up. There are only 2 cards that care about Category 5, which are the new legendary Barts and Faris. So I guess they're expecting you to want to go wind water with that category, and Heliconesus is one of the better forwards.
That's true, yeah.
In that category and in that element combination.
Yeah. Wind water also lends itself pretty well to just. Yeah.
Anything wind water is good.
That's pretty true.
And backup wise for parts, you've got like the new Wind Drake's pretty nifty.
As a Category 5, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just contemplating the possibility of you can go King Tycoon into Faris, which is pretty neat. That's actually not so bad. And they're both Warriors of Blight, aren't they? Yeah.
I just realized a 6 synergy. Right?
Go ahead.
So I've been playing a lot of Sky Pirates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, Wind Drake is a good Category 5 character. It doesn't matter he's Category 5, but his ability, right? I play that Sky Pirates. I quite like it. It's not tier 1 or anything, but it's really fun. I talked about it before, how you can just buff your guys continuously. But I play a 1 copy of Redis. And this Wind Drake can make it so he doesn't attack when I don't want him to attack.
you Wind Drake your own Redis.
Yes! Value, guys.
I don't know about that.
The memes are too strong, man, Jared. It's not loading up. Well, Redis will eventually appear on the screen. But
wasn't he one of the cards that thinks that he's the wrong element?
Why does he think he's in the wrong element?
Well, no, I mean, didn't we notice a few weeks back that he was appearing in like when you searched for fire or something like that?
No, it was only fire cards masquerading as water cards, as far as I know.
Oh,
there was Amaranth and someone else.
Yeah, I remember us discovering a second one, but I couldn't remember what it was.
It was Tella. It was Tella.
Okay.
Yeah.
The new Tella. Now I'm curious. I kind of want to like workshop the Category 5 deck. Just thinking. So you run Helikinesis, you're on Ferris. You got like King Tycoon, Windrake. If you run like, you probably run some number of the Bartzes.
Okay.
Bartzes, maybe that's like Ranger.
Okay.
Dorgan.
Yeah, for some reason my computer was not having it. Not here is better. Anyways, yeah, but anything else you guys want to? Okay. So Helikinesis is like such a. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about, Jared?
Well, I'm just musing on the idea, like spinning out from this discussion on Helikinesis. Like there are the obvious, like she's obviously good in a lot of just water and decks, right? Like and in mono water as well, just because you tend to run you're either like the lots of monsters or you're the lots of summons version.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking sort of off on a tangential. What's the deck that people aren't going to immediately think of for Helikinesis, but when you're thinking of this deck, Helikinesis is like a must-have in it, which is the Category 5 like deck, and like the skeleton of it. I'm not sure how much of it has to be Category 5.
Oh no, you only need to have like, okay. I think the only card that you should care about, in particular, to be Category 5 is Ferris. Right?
Well, then you also want and you play Lena and Gogo. They're also Category 5.
Yeah, like you know, why not? You know, like they're good cards in their own right, right? And you can still get them. But
I think I might put together a Wind Water Category 5 list for our next weekly. I don't think anyone else is bothering to try.
I've got too many other things I want to try out first, pretty much.
But too many irons in the fire. Oh, the Water Knight that gets +1k for each backup you control is
there's a lot of relevant water one, like even Oracle. Oracle is just a good one backup. So yeah, but for Ferris, you only need like what, 5 characters, and that should be more than enough for Bards to activate as well.
I wish Ferris.
That's an entire backup line. There we go.
Oh, you don't have to go all backups. You just have to have like 1 or 2 backups.
Yeah, but you can, because all the 5 backups are really good. Well, not all of them, but there are a lot of good 5 backups.
It depends on what direction you want to go, because you can't just put a 5 category. You're gonna put like what, you know, YRP or something, right?
There's a lot of stuff just in 5 that you might not even need to find room for Yurps. Like I think
it doesn't have to be yours, but it has to be like there should be like a second.
I think your
supporting category.
I think your secondary theme is Warriors of Light.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Or it could be Dawn Warriors.
Yeah, you've either got access to Dawn Warriors and Warriors of Light. Well, like Kelger can only really in this variant you can only really find Dorkin or other Kelgers, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Those are the only things you can find. And if you really want to like jam a Dorgan, then that's not the worst thing. Looking at the top 5 cards, that's a lot of cards. You just have to make sure he hits, which is the hard thing to do.
You mean Calgar? Yeah, you need like.
You have to be playing at least a set of him and a set of Dorgan, I think, to like realistically hit either of them.
Even then, you won't hit like 70% of the time.
Yeah, you won't, because wait, he can only hit Dorgan. He can't hit himself, obviously.
I think the cards you want to run, the theme you want to run instead, at least until we get more Dawn Warriors in Wind and Water, I think you want to be going for Warriors of Light instead.
Yeah, true.
Because that's like then you can play the Opus 3 Legendary. Is it Opus 3 Legendary Bots? Is that when he's from?
Yeah.
As well, he can get the buff. And within this this environment as well, you've got other than Warrior of Light, you can be a queen and maybe a standard unit. You might play like the Category 5 Ranger that can't be targeted.
Yeah.
And Mime from Go-Go, Princess from Lena.
There's
so he can get a good number of jobs. He can't go, how many does he need to? He needs five or more jobs. So Warrior of Light, Queen, Mime, Princess. So if you've got your full forward line in play, then he's gonna be full power.
Yep.
And then you're you probably how many bots do you need to effectively use all of the abilities on the new?
Wait, do you want to go full meme or what?
I don't know,
so I mean that's the question, right?
His abilities are still kind of just the first two you might just use.
No,
they're good S abilities to just
I 100% agree with you, Jared. But the thing is that, instead of putting this, 6th, 7th, 8th copy of Bards, wouldn't it be better to diversify your lineup?
I think I agree with you.
Yeah, so it's just
I'm trying to imagine how likely it is, even if you're just running 3 and 3, 3 copies of this new Bards and 3 copies of the old Bards, whether or not they'd be worthwhile. And maybe you mix in some of the Opus 1 activate all your wind characters Bards.
I think that if you go 5 or 6 is more than enough if you want to make it flow well and have good matchups against more matchups, so to say. But other than that, you can obviously go full meme, and I feel like that's more fun. That's more fun.
That's true. You can Spellblade your Go-Go to then power hit someone.
Yeah, I mean that's a discard 2 cards to kill a 4. That's not bad.
It's almost like you're playing Helicarnassus, except it's worse.
Look, you play this as well, you see. It's more specific, but
wait.
You don't have to double forward, you can then attack them with your Go-Go and your Bards.
Yeah.
True. But then
if you're playing Water Wind with Go-Go, you might as well just put Cactuar in, right? Because then it works well with Diablos.
Well, you can do that too. We haven't even considered summons and monsters for the deck. And
is there a Windwater standard unit in Opus 7?
There isn't one. No, I was looking for that before.
No.
Yeah, that's the obvious thing that they ought to have put in. There's a wind one there's wind that cares about whether or not you played earth, and wind that cares about whether or not you played fire, and water that cares about whether you played fire, and water that cares about whether or not you played earth. But
right.
No wind water.
Yeah, aren't these sort of standard unit effects supposed to encourage you to play combinations that aren't so popular? And Water Wind is probably one of the most, if not the most popular combination.
Yep, that's been being pushed since Opus 1.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense not to have a Water Wind.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Standard unit. But what I do like is the new White Mage. I've never put her in a deck, but she seems so good. The one that 3-drop 6k, just up to 2 forwards.
Activate 2
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, it's no Helicarnassus.
It's no Porum either.
Yeah, it's no Porum. There are.
Oh no, wait. No, but Porum is a 4-drop. The significance of this is Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean you can Sedaine if you want. If you want activatable back, or you can Phoenix in the new Tidus.
Yeah, but Tidus requires not really, because Tidus requires a very particular lineup.
No, it doesn't. You're only bringing it back with Phoenix.
Why would you play a card to just discard?
Because it's very powerful when you bring it back with Phoenix.
Maybe.
It's obnoxiously powerful to bring back with Phoenix. There are a lot of effects on it.
Yeah, so any closing remarks on Helicarnassus?
It's a cool card. We all like Helicarnassus.
Yeah, I mean it's probably It's probably
I just bought 3 foils of it.
Like a 5+2, right? If you're ever gonna.
Probably not.
I can't imagine a water deck not having this though.
I can imagine quite a few. This like mostly goes in reactive strategies.
Yeah, it's so if you're trying to control the board, it gives you like it removes a lot of your opponent's defensive options.
It gives you an out against like certain decks that you otherwise wouldn't.
The decks that it's difficult for the control archetypes to interact with tend to rely on abilities that Halicarnassus removes. So in that sense, it allows you to, you can all right, I'll play my Halicarnassus, then I'll remove your problem boards.
Oh, yeah.
And then from that point forward, she continues to be a threat to their plays.
I mean, like, I'm not saying no. It's just like I can't see like I said.
Yeah, sorry. It's I was gonna say stuff and then I started coughing like 4 times.
Oh, no.
What is it, Kevin?
Yeah. So the decks that don't need her can just build their deck in a way that doesn't require her ability. Because you can have a lot of pretty aggressive water lists that just like steamroll the opponent without really any need for something. Which is probably arguably the strongest strategy. Like it might be a one-of in almost all decks, but then I don't know, generally you can just win before it gets to a point where Halicarnassus is useful in those decks.
Are you talking about like the archetypical 589 package?
No, not just that, but like any faster water list or any like turbo monster lists and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She's not especially for those decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the decks she goes in though, she definitely pull a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. You guys want to go on to the next pseudo segment of the show?
Pseudo segment?
It's what's up?
What do you mean pseudo segment, Murad?
I mean pseudo segment because we don't have an mod or MCD, but what we do what I do have is kind of like theory crafting an idea, and together we shall nerf it into existence.
Nerf it. All right. So this implies your idea is especially powerful.
I mean, I think it can be especially powerful.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a story. It was
a dark and stormy night.
It was the 3rd of December. No. No. The thing is, right, for the longest time, ever since Setsuna came out, I've been trying to make Monofire good.
Monofire is good.
Yep.
And like, you know, every time I make a new list, like, oh yeah, this is good, this is great, you know, this feels good, and then, you know, when you play against different archetypes, they just have too many weaknesses for them to be actually considered viable, you know, and like in a competitive market, because other elements do more unfair things like mono water, like earth wind, etc., etc. And I think it's because they're so like shoehorned into like a particular archetype, right? Because they have to just like either cannot block or deal damage. They don't really have many other things that really defines fire. So I'm taking something that's like a minor theme in the newer fire cards and trying to amp that up and make it so that a very aggressive mono fire lists can see the light of day.
Okay.
Okay.
And what is this theme that you're
So this
wanting to
theme,
play with?
for some reason, I feel like streaming takes a lot of my internet bandwidth. The cards aren't showing up 100% properly. It just is a bit slow. So the new theme is actually like the new Opus 6 Bahamut. Do you guys remember the Opus 6 Bahamut?
The one that deals 10k?
Yeah, 4-drop EX Burst, deal 10k, deal yourself a point of damage, EX Burst of cards, point of damage zone, due to this damage cannot be used.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, they can't just make a 4-drop 10k summon in fire that's OP, so they have to give it a drawback like this. So I'm thinking, like, so the best thing about fire, or the most impactful thing that I've there's actually not a really viable control list for fire. There's a decent mid-rangey list for fire, but the best list is actually like super aggro mono fire. Especially with my favorite fire card, the 3-drop ranger, right? And one of the problems that those lists, face is they lose steam pretty fast if you try to do that. Like, some decks can't handle it and they just, fall over and die. But, there's a lot of decks that can just handle that pressure and can just go through it. My idea is to have a 2-cost backup that's fire.
Mm-hmm.
That says it has an action ability with the cost of deal yourself a point of damage. Okay, and the point of damage cannot trigger EX bursts, the same as Bahamut, right? And all I wanted to do is draw a card.
Oh no!
That's all I wanted to do. Because if that card, like I said, it's probably too strong. But if that type of effect,
it's far too strong.
If that type of effect exists,
how much does it cost?
That would propel. I don't know. My initial thought was just to make it like 2 costs.
I don't think it could be a 2-cost.
That's 6 cards for free.
Hmm. Because
I mean,
fire also,
when you compare it to other unfair things like Layla Vikings every time you play it is like one card for free.
Yeah, but this is 6 cards all at once immediately.
It's not immediately. You have a no. Oh, sorry. The other thing is you can only use this ability. Oh, you can make it dull. You can only use this ability once per turn. That's the other thing I was thinking of. I didn't say. But so it has a lot of restrictions. The restriction is do yourself a point of damage, cannot trigger EX burst, can only be done once per turn.
And during your turn.
Sure. I mean, that too.
Like
but
if you're gonna err on the safe side, that's what you have it do.
Then I'd probably make it cost 3.
I also agree. I think it would probably end up costing 3, and it would be like a named character as opposed to a standard unit.
I didn't say it was standard unit, but yeah.
No, I know. I'm just clarifying that.
The thing is, I couldn't really find a character. I was like looking for Final Fantasy characters that can fit this mold, and I couldn't really find anything that really does, other than Dark Knights.
Like a mad scholar or something like that. I'm like Hojo. Hojo could be that could be what Hojo does, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Like that makes sense to me.
That's pretty much Huang Gai from Sangguosha.
From what?
It's a Chinese.
The Three Kingdoms kind of thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a Three Kingdoms game, but yeah. The reason why I came to this is because I've been watching a lot of Hearthstone lately. I don't play Hearthstone. I just watch other people play and stuff. And obviously, like right now, it's not meta, but the last expansion, Zuluk was strong. And one of the reasons why Zuluk was strong is because, he can draw a card by hurting himself, and his life total doesn't matter, and they can just go in and.
Nice, good old heal Zoo.
Oh, it doesn't have to. Yeah, I mean, like heal Zoo is like even better. But yeah, so the idea with this one is that if you get your life total to too low, right? The opponent can just like surprise you with automatically win the game and stuff. Like if you are irresponsible with the ability, so to say.
I think like, what if it wasn't a backup? What if it was a forward?
I guess.
Because then it's like you can put slightly more powerful effects on forwards because it's easier for more decks to remove them.
What about a 2-drop monster?
Monsters, like,
because it doesn't do anything. That's all it does.
If it does nothing else, it just like
that's all it
dulls to draw you a card.
That's no. Yeah, dulls. Deals your damage, draw a card. That's it.
And then
I think if you made it like a forward, and it's an on-attack trigger.
On attack's actually interesting. Yeah, no, that's so like whenever so and so attacks, deal yourself 1 point of damage. This doesn't do EX bursts. Then draw a card. Maybe that could be, and it just fits with like the aggressive theme of a lot of fire decks.
What if it's just whenever your opponent takes a damage,
draw a card? Actually, yeah, that's an interesting idea.
You take a damage and draw.
Wow, that's hard.
You play against the Fustiga deck.
Oh no. It's like
That's actually quite interesting.
So you're like,
Fustiga, kill the thing. Okay, we both take a damage. You draw a card.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like, also, is fire wants to be aggressive, right, and do damage.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, no, that.
I feel like this is the direction that, though this is the identity that fire should take, in terms of having really strong effects that deal you some point of damage.
Yeah, I think fire does need some kind of card advantage.
Yeah. Well, and
pretty way to do it.
In some other games, like in Magic, the aggressive color gets access to like a sort of you get to draw a card effect, which is you remove the top card from the game, and then until the end of turn you can play that card.
Oh, so, yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's kind of like what with Una does. So, I could see them implementing some fire cards that say, all right, well, remove the top card of your deck from the game until the end of turn. You can play that just like tacked on to some effect. Like that could be an all right way to do things for fire, because it means you have to burn up the resources then, which is on theme.
I feel like that's a complicated ability for FFTCG to just stick it onto a bunch of cards.
Yeah. But
Final Fantasy ability designs are very, very lean most of the time. That's
true. Like, I feel like they probably could put it on a couple of cards in an upcoming set.
Yeah, I think they kind of broke open the complexity space with Dolgan.
Dorgan. Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's in heroic, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The other thing that I found actually pretty cool synergy, was in Fire Ice. Like obviously there's like synergy with this card in like in Fire Earth, because you can go Noctis trigger, Cecil trigger, whatever. That's fine, right? And there's synergy within its own element with Samurai, because I played Samurai a lot in this new opus, and you just never get to 5 damage when you need it. When you need it to push through for the last point of damage, and then they get you to 5 damage. The
new backup samurai.
The new backup samurai. I'll show it on stream. The new backup samurai says that you can only use his ability of tap points to the break zone, give something plus 2,000 power and brave if you have 5 points of damage or more, and it's in an aggressive mono fire deck. You could play it, and you get a point of damage in because you get his ETB, but then you can't really use his action ability because by the time your opponent is stabilized and attacking you, they're so far ahead that they're just gonna attack you like 3 forwards at once, and you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
And so
you can't get the payoff on the second ability.
Exactly, and this is a way to actually make it so, you are the molder of whether you can use its ability or not. Because I think Samurai is such a good fire card, very very good.
Yeah, I've been looking at this, contemplating mono fire aggro list, and like I want to find space for it in a lot of them, just because I was thinking to myself, we used to play Selfie a whole bunch, the Opus 2 Selfie.
Yeah.
And like,
I still think she's
realistically only ever really played it, like activated its effect once. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is like a 1 CP cheaper version of it. What that also develops your board.
And so the other cool thing was in Ice, right? The new Yule Okay. The new rule says put a ice tap, put her into the break zone, search for 1 forward, and put it under the top card of your deck. That top card is gonna go to damage, and you're gonna draw that forward. Isn't that cool?
Oh, right, with your proposed idea. Yeah, that would be an intriguing.
That's cool. Like it doesn't have to be good. I just think if they made that sort of thing, that's just cool, right?
Well, and you can already kind of do that with that Bahamut, right?
Like, yeah, but then you draw it the next turn. This one you can draw it that turn, and you can use that forward.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, if you're playing
with your... you're going to draw next turn anyway, then it doesn't matter if you remove the top card, right?
Yeah. Well, like, whereas if you're playing like Bahamut or this thing, you can use it to set up EX bursts.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
You
can do it like in response to them attacking, kill something else, them going into an EX burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they hit you, you just take 2 damage, and you probably get to kill 2 of their things.
Yeah.
I guess. It's probably what it ends up looking like.
Actually, that sorry, just going back to that thing before, where Moed, you're like a monster that if your opponent takes damage, you get damage and draw a card.
Yeah.
If there's no easy way to get rid of that as well, like you didn't have a built-in sacrifice ability.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting and risky.
Yeah, because like if you're on 6 points of damage, they can just activate their Fusoya, and they can kill you. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're not both on 6, then you can't hit them if you're on 6 and now on anything less than 6.
It creates like an interesting interaction, and like I think that's what Fire needs. Fire needs something unfair, right? But something that supports aggro, and
unfairly powerful with a significant draw.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh look, it's Dark Lord.
Hey, Dark Lord is a good card. Dark Lord is a good card. There's just no deck to support him currently.
Yeah, Dark Lord, the 7-2 card.
It's almost as if you're gonna draw 10 cards that turn.
Oh man, that's insane.
That's the only way that it will be 7-2. The thing is that you can go down that route too, right? You can go RFG your deck. You can say like RFG 10 cards, draw 1 card. Something like that. In the similar vein.
There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, right? That's like that.
Pot of Desires, is it?
Yeah, you remove the top some number of cards from your deck.
It's a top 10 and you draw 2, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Fire could get like a Moogle that's like that, maybe?
That's good, right?
Like, how much CP would a summon that does that cost in Fire?
A summon? Oh, you wanted a summon?
No, I'm just humor me.
It would have to be 1, right? It would have to be 1. Otherwise, it's not even close to worth it.
I'm just trying to
Well, it's better than Moogle, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, in that sense, it's better than Moogle because you don't lose anything from your hand.
Yep.
In which case, it probably ought to cost 2. As opposed to just 1.
But then 2 is just like.
Actually, I think this could be like a light or dark summon.
That would be an interesting light or dark summon.
That's true, yeah.
Which would it be though, light or dark? Because like dark already has effects that seek you out card. Right?
I mean, like.
Or am I imagining that?
It depends.
Like, there are more dark cards that find cards than there are light cards that find cards. Yeah.
It's just Camel Nut, right? The only difference, really, is Camel Nut, right?
Ultima removes cards from your deck, so it's kind of.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Kevin. What did you say?
Ultima removes cards from your deck, so it's kind of similar.
Yeah, and then another draws you cards.
I think
and Race Valor also removes cards from the top of your deck, so that's kind of a light thing to be doing.
Yeah, and I think I would want it to be light too because Camelot just makes all dark cards so much more consistent, and I don't think I want that type of card to be as consistent. I don't know. It's one of those.
Yes, Fire forever.
I have a and I've also been thinking about like there was a card idea I had. I was sort of musing over it while trying to think up something to while we were discussing this off air the other day, and I realize it might be relevant to the conversation about this potential theoretical design space that we're looking into for fire. I was considering, and I ended up thinking it would probably be an earth effect, which would be like, I'm not sure what you staple this onto, whether it be a summon, a forward, what have you.
Yeah.
But a card that read, deal yourself a point of damage, then evenly distribute all of the damage that has been dealt over the course of the game.
Oh wow.
So like, I'm not sure what this effect would cost, what it would be okay to put it on. I had a feeling like it might be an earth effect.
Are you saying? It's like?
Let me explain it first.
Yeah.
So say I'm sitting on 1 point of damage, and you're sitting on 0 points. I generate this effect. It goes on the stack. It resolves. I take a point of damage.
Yeah.
Then my 2 points of damage halve, and one of them goes to you. Now and then.
Oh wait. So does that mean that you heal?
Sort of. Yeah, like it puts all of the damage into like a communal pool, and then evenly distributes them.
Does that mean your opponent can get your EX bursts?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you do it. I don't know how. I'm curious curious to workshop how you guys think you'd make that effect work in the game.
I think I'd put it on like
because it occurred to me that there are like spells in Final Fantasy games that like they take all of the HP of all of the combatants and then evenly distribute them out.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know.
But who gets which damage cards? Like, is it random or do you choose?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you'd make it work.
Probably have to make it so like no EXs trigger, and then maybe just give your damage cards to your opponent or something.
Yeah.
I would put this on like on an S ability on a similar level to Sin, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. So your idea for this, Jared, the purpose is it to be behind and able to equalize damage with your opponent?
Yeah, sort of.
So,
like my thinking is like you could take those, like, because we've got those like effects like on the legendary Cecil and things like that, and then also on like the fire cards we've been discussing, right?
Yeah.
And you can pull yourself back from the brink, which would then allow you to use more of those effects while also having gotten like a payoff for having taken that damage over the course of the game.
So a more control-y build, because this is like literally going over the other side of the spectrum, you know, of where we started, right? And
exactly. Well, it's
in that this has to be something that costs so much because you don't want to have cards which reward you for losing.
I agree with that. I like I said, I wasn't sure what it would cost. Because it's a really impactful effect. Like in other games, these kinds of effects always end up being like hugely overcosted to the point at which a lot of the time they're not viable. But like I'm curious as to like how would we make it work if we were to try and make it work.
When you say make it work, do you mean make it a playable card?
Yeah, I mean, like...
because I think this should be playable.
I think making it a well-designed card is more important.
Yeah, that's more what I'm trying to articulate.
What if it's like... well, because, okay, instead of, like, distributing the damage, why don't you just make it like your opponent takes as much damage until you guys are equal, or
then you can kill them super easily.
Yeah, I know, but then like you just make it so like, you know, similar to Eldnarch and Sin, that, you know, when you use this you can't attack this turn, and then like you have to wait a full turn, and then if you don't kill in that turn then you lose or something like that, like an alternate lose
condition. Combos. Palom combos.
Well, I'm all for those.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
it's
in order
difficult.
to avoid that, you'd word it so like your opponent can't take damage after this effect for until your next turn or something. But I don't know. It was an idea I had. there was a way to make it work.
Yeah, I think the idea might need too many restrictions to be
Yeah.
actually put on a card, which I think means it's probably a bit too problematic
Yeah,
for Final
because like,
Fantasy.
the thing is, when you're trying to balance it, you think, okay, what would make this playable? That's too powerful. That's too like it's always too powerful when it's playable. It has to be unplayable.
Because like you could have it go like
The thing with Final Fantasy is it's very, very tempo-ish.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so you can't punish tempo too much in this game, like as in with card designs, because that's what almost all the cards do.
Yeah, even like the resource system is pretty much blurring the lines between card advantage and tempo for the early parts of the.
While
my thinking was from a like, if it has to deal you a point of damage first, right? So you can't use it. It's dead if you're on set, which means that like the most that you can have it do, and because it will only ever equalize. I'm not sure how you maybe you make it like it RFGs the points of damage you already have, and then like deals the difference to your opponent, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
what about a card that just like draws half of your damage?
Draw
yeah.
cards equal to half your.
No. Draw cards from your damage zone.
Yeah. It'll be something like on a backup like S and 2 fire, put that back up into the break zone, draw 1 card from your damage zone. Something like that.
Well, that's
So
a very intriguing effect.
It's leaving the damage zone. I think that's a bit too easy.
I still think that's strong. Yeah.
No. It is strong. That was just like a out of the top of my head kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
that was maybe not the best off the top of your head, but something like that.
What I was thinking of while we're having this discussion, trying to find other ways to try to make Jared's idea work, was what if we made the initial like what I was talking about the deal yourself point of damage draw card. What if we made that an auto ability at the start of your turn, so that you're putting yourself on a clock, but you're getting an extra card every turn?
Yeah, that sounds.
That's
like
pretty cool. Like in a real arena style effect.
That's neat.
Yeah. So like
that 1 damage is so much more in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I think
so. So it's like to say it's like a two-drop monster, right? At the start of every turn, deal yourself 1 point of damage. Doesn't EX burst. What a blah blah blah. You draw 1 card, and you have 7 turns. You literally be like, I put this down. I'm going to kill you in 7 turns. You know.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, right?
That's I think I like that more than the Dullet to draw card or to use an action.
And it's a monster because it doesn't do anything else, and that's like a huge investment. Because, like, other than that, and your opponent doesn't want to remove it because that's like free damage. Can you kill it yourself with like remove? But then you kind of still have to. Or like Zell, can you choose your own on summons?
Let me just check.
No, it says opponent controls, so you can't even do it with Zell. You're gonna be on a tight spot. What about
fire?
What about
Can't
remove?
get rid of it.
I mean, like in water, you can like bounce it back to your hand, and those are more synergies that come up, you know. But I mean, water, you do really need more card draw in water. I guess there's never enough card draw.
That is a pretty significant reason to go anti-fire as well.
Well, this remove choose. Oh, you can't choose your own monster to break, so you can go fire lightning, and you can remove your own monster and still deal 7,000 damage to a forward. So
if you're in wind, you can bounce it or kill it.
Oh, yeah, with Alexander. What about?
Can Alexander target your own things?
Yeah, I'll double check now. I'm checking on stream.
It says to choose on monster, break it.
Yeah, so you can.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well,
that's pretty cool, right?
For the purposes of our MOD
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we lock that idea in?
Okay.
Like it's a 2-drop fire monster.
Yeah.
And I think we should challenge our listeners to
I feel
come
like
up with
3-drop would be more interesting.
2 or 3. Yeah. Okay, 3.
No. 3 would make it literally unplayable. In my opinion.
Would it?
Yes. Because the only deck that wants to run it is aggro, and aggro doesn't want to spend 3 CP on this when they can just spend 3 CP on a ranger and deal a point of damage instead.
But that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
I also think 3 CP is a bit too much, because that means it's like 3 turns before you're like gaining anything, and by that time you're halfway to losing the game. Probably more.
And your opponent can like anti-aggro you. Like if they're an aggro deck, then you're probably losing that matchup, right?
If you make it 2, there are more removal options for it.
Yeah, that too.
And you can also Gao it, I guess. That's an interesting little thing. Like I'd play a Gao and bring that thing back.
You want to bring it back though, like? Oh, you mean if you never played it?
Like that would be my opener.
Okay, yeah.
Or you can always sack it with like Legend Kefka.
Oh, you could, yes.
Turn it into a
wait, that's pretty good, even in Mono Fire, because you can just sack like a Fritz, and you can sack that, and you can sack like as useless other forward, and then
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. I like this card.
Okay, so let's make it. It's a 2-cost monster. It's not a standard unit, right?
No.
Right.
No,
so
I think it's fine.
Standard unit, just like deal.
Turn 1. I play 3 of these. Pass the turn.
Deal 3 damage, and then.
You just replace them the first time, right? So you take 3 damage just to break even, and then you die.
Yeah. Sure, man. Yeah. Okay, no, I think what's more important than being standard unit or non-standard unit, because you'd only play 1. You could probably put multiple in your deck, but I think what's more important is the character that you're gonna put it on, or like the monster that you're gonna put it on, like, because it has to be flavorful, right? And if that monster is like, I don't know, standard unit, like
Chris,
like a Tunbury.
It could be that would be cool for a Tombury. But Chris,
Fire Tombury.
As so like 13 is one of the only like there's 13 and category 13 and World of Final Fantasy, the only 2 Final Fantasies I know of that you like. There's a lot of monster hunting in them, right? Like and they become a part of your team. So like is there a monster in 13.2 that like siphons your life to give you a reward?
No, there's nothing that eats your own life. Like once it's in your party.
Okay.
Yeah. What about?
Can you think?
What about a flan? Like it's not called flan. Don't get me wrong. It's like the same as the Royal Ripeness, but one of their like little, I don't know, flanlings.
Oh, from the flan school.
Yeah. It's like the Royal Ripeness, except it's a smaller version of it.
Oh, the mutant tomato.
Yeah. That could be cool, right?
It could be it could be a magic pot actually.
Similar to Magic Pot, like a theater rhythm monster.
Well, no. I mean, I think it could be literally. It could be a magic pot as a monster.
Oh, right.
Magic pots ask for you to give them something, and then they give you something back in return.
Oh yeah, and then they
don't let up.
Unfortunately,
in return for cards, I shall take your life.
Yes, but unfortunately, this magic pot doesn't know the meaning of consent.
Or is there like maybe that's like a
because you always like just to take your life and then give you a card.
A cool mini game you could put on the card is like if they're on if they hit certain damage thresholds, like when they hit 3 or 5 damage, you can remove one of the cards in your damage zone from the.
Oh right, like a Noctis effect, like when you're on 6 point of damage, and then
so the card like deals yourself points of damage, but it rewards you for dealing damage. So it heals you for 1 point of damage when they hit, let's say like 5 damage or something. So it gives you an extra turn.
That could be interesting.
When
your opponent takes their 5th point of damage, remove 1 point of damage from.
Oh no! Wait! No, actually, no. That's actually really relevant. What if it says, when your opponent reaches 5 points of damage, put flanling into the break zone, and heal 1 point of damage, or no? Is that too much?
That could be a way to do it.
Yeah.
Or is it just like
it'd probably be sick.
Or if it's just like if you put your opponent to 5 points of damage, put flanking into the break zone. That's it. Nothing. Because then you don't have the drawback of drawing cards, right?
I think not that.
Okay.
Okay.
What could be really interesting, I think, if we're getting rid of this CAD on triggers, is if your opponent gets an EX first, because then it's different for different decks. It's also it's really interesting. I think swinging in because you don't know if you're going to hit or not, and it all depends on your opponent's deck list too. And then you can just play assuming that you're not going to hit it. Well, then I think triggering on an EX is more interesting than triggering on a certain damage threshold.
Okay, so
that's pretty cool.
So you mean if they EX, then you can heal damage? Is that what you're saying?
Then whatever the ability we decided it's going to be. But I think the condition of being when your opponent EX bursts.
And it'll be very unique to Final Fantasy too.
I actually quite like that. That's yes.
Yeah, that's really cool because your opponent.
They get a lot of value out of EX usually, so.
Yeah.
And so like the aggro lists that are trying to make the most out of this card, they can just get like wrecked by random powerful EX bursts. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the effect? What are we deciding the effect? Is the effect heal your opponent damage or what? That's the issue, right?
Maybe return a forward that costs 2 or less from your break zone to the battlefield.
I'd just like to make sure we're still talking about the same card. Is this the one that does the damage to you and draws you a card each turn?
Yes.
Yeah. Like.
I think it should be more in line with the theme. I think it should like heal your damage.
Heal your point of damage probably. Because no matter what, you're gonna be damaged when this happens.
Yeah. So the healing is not heal. It's like draw 1 card out of your damage zone, right?
No,
just remove it after you.
Yeah, remove a point of damage. Remove a card in your damage zone from the game. Is how you'd word it, unless they decide to make heal a keyword.
Yeah.
Which I doubt they will.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Also, because I really like that FFTCG doesn't have any healing in it, but putting it on a card that is damaging yourself, because the reason I like having no healing in the game is the game's always driving towards its conclusion.
Yeah.
And because this card, if this is the only card that heals, it's also driving the game to its conclusion because it's killing you anyway.
Yep.
Then I guess I could be fine with that.
You can't even like scroll up now.
If it only triggers on EX as well, it just might not ever happen.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the meta decks don't run many EX bursts, and it's only the EX bursts that already are good by themselves.
This would contribute to the should you run 7-drop Odin discussion.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we can go on that in a bit. But there was a kind of, I guess, almost agreed upon conclusion. But yeah, let's. I guess we can wrap up this idea.
Yeah, let's lock in the design here.
Okay.
It is a 2-cost monster that reads.
Fire monster.
2-cost fire monster that reads at the beginning of your main phase. Deal yourself 1 point of damage and draw a card. Whenever an opponent's
no EX.
Oh yeah. EX burst of cards put the damage on. Just this damage cannot be used. That's what it should say. Yeah.
And also whenever an opponent's damage card EX bursts, remove one point of damage from the game.
Oh, one of your own point of damage from the game.
Yeah,
right?
one of your own points of damage.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you got no point of damage, then you have to choose your opponent, and that's sad.
That'd be hilarious.
Right?
Yeah. They get super EX.
So okay, like that's cool, but my only concern is that second effect that we just discussed. I don't feel like that's very fire.
No, but it works on this card, and it still rewards you for being aggressive and not defensive.
You can see it as drawing strength from hitting things.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Like I'm not against that. I just feel like maybe we're adding too many lines of text. That's all, you know.
I
feel like they're symmetrical enough that it makes sense.
There are 2 sentences on this card.
One of them is EX burst of this card. It's gonna be EX burst.
Sorry, there are 2 blocks of text on the card.
Yeah.
Is more.
Which
should be fine.
Yeah, and we don't have to go through like making an action ability, and dying to the Emperor, or like because if they just play the Emperor, then you just lost a bunch of value. Like now the Emperor not only stops mid range and control, it stops aggro too. That's not fair. Yeah, so I think making an alt ability is fine. Anyways.
Okay. And do we have any idea as to what we want it to be called?
I have no idea. Like honestly, like.
Be like vampire or something.
No. Let's call it tomato flan. I like the flan idea.
Oh no. There's a category 12 card. It would be rogue tomato, which is the first monster you fight in
okay, sure.
In 12, the rogue tomato.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Rogue tomato. We will lock that in, I guess. Anyways.
And then its job will be Mandragora.
Oh yeah, Mandragora. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I remember the Mandragores were an Earth back in chapter series. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
let's move on. So there's a deck that somebody wants to talk about.
Yeah. So either we can go on to the, I guess recent community discussion about Mono Lightning, or we can go on to,
Actually, I'm more interested in this Lightning.
There's a Viking in Final Fantasy 13 too. There's a Viking in FF13 too.
Wait, there is?
What?
I've just realized because I was looking through the Final Fantasy 13 new ones to see if I could find one for this. But yeah, there's a Viking.
It looks like Human.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it looks like Human. Here it is, guys.
We can briefly touch on the Odin discussion and then kind of like.
Oh yeah. It's not too long. I'm just gonna try to find it, but pretty much. How about this? What do you guys think? So, would you guys, when you're building a Mono Lightning, would you put 7-drop Odin?
So my philosophy with that Odin has always been I wouldn't play it on its own merits. I just play it if I have something else that supports putting it in. For example, if I was playing Fusoya or if I'm playing like the 5-drop Lightning.
Yeah.
That puts Odins back on top of your deck, or something. If there's some other synergy, like there's Seymour now as well, right? But like, I wouldn't play it just to rely on the EX burst.
Yeah.
I think it probably depends on how you build your like.
So a lot of people were saying that they wouldn't play it unless there's some sort of synergy with like Seymour or Fusoya or.
I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, people have been playing it for a long time without having to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not personally saying that. I'm just saying those are some of the arguments that was put forward.
If your deck is one such that like you're going to spend like the first couple turns of the game just playing backups, right? And sure, those backups might like kill off an opponent's thing. You're still not going to be able to kill off everything all the time. And once you get up to five backups, then you can reasonably play an Odin. Like I've played against plenty of Mono Lightning players that have just gone, all right, once we get to the mid game, they just start throwing Odins at my threats. So then it's not like I don't know. I wouldn't only play it if I had specifically something that synergized with it.
Yeah, I agree with Jared here. I think for like certain builds of Mono Lightning, you just include it without anything. Obviously, if you build around it, you definitely include it, and there will be builds like that don't want it because it's tight for space.
There are
the synergistic build.
Yeah, there are like more payoff cards now as well for having all 5 backups, right? Like the legendary Estinian wants you to have all 5, and then he gets haste, right?
Yeah.
So like there are like that there's a Mono Lightning list that really wants to get 5 backups as soon as possible, so it can just start slamming these big scary things. And
so it's like the worst removal in the game, right? Once you've drawn it. So.
But it's the removal.
For me, yeah, but it's like you're playing it over things which aren't as bad. Like there's I see I know the monolithists have played it because I've played against them as well. But every time I've considered whether to put Odin in the deck, it has been down to, do I have something else that goes with it or not? I also feel sort of sorry for people who learn the game with the demo decks, which has that Odin in it, which I think was a big mistake. Because the people playing against it, as a new player, you come across Odin, you think, oh, that's BS, and you know, it feels really bad. And if you're the one playing it, you get to think, oh, that's really cool, but these are 30-card decks. Yeah. So then when you go to a 50-card deck, you don't see it as often.
Yeah, true.
EX Odin, it's like, what? I don't understand.
I think also with the new remove that came out, that
I was gonna say that, yeah,
power reduction on EX, I think that might like push out 7-drop Odin, because that will effectively kill most things on an EX.
The other consideration is, what is there something specifically that only Odin can deal with? Because if that's the case, then sure, you play Odin.
I mean, so I guess the argument goes to, I mean, the whole reason for this argument was trying to determine if Mono Lightning is viable, you know, in a competitive tournament in a one deck format, and people brought up different ideas, which I thought was pretty insightful. In terms of, some of them were just saying that Mono Lightning by itself is very tempo based, and it's, you know, it needs to have like some sort of
nothing swings harder
when it's
than
losing.
Odin.
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of like they need this because when they're losing, the Odin is nice and they have like other things to play. But then there's also,
I don't know, when they're losing, Exodus is pretty strong.
But that's the thing, right? And it's in a tempo deck, you're kind of being like, you're playing your Illuas down, you're playing your Zap down, you're playing like Seafers down first, and so you're being proactive. And so personally, I love Exodus. I probably wouldn't play a Mono Lightning deck without Exodus. But people are saying that Exodus is like against their game plan, and because, you know, they just want to go, they pretty much just want to go face, right? And also
if
this,
you're playing actual Lightning, then you probably don't want Exodus.
like even mid range, even like mid range kind of, you know, tempo. But this, like you said, this new remove is just way too like hits like 80 to 90% of the things that the 7-drop Odin would hit, because it's minus 8,000 power. Like there's only a few things that one hits, and on top of the thing, like this can still hit things like Y'shtola from Scions, and you know things that cannot be broken, like Vincent, if that ever comes back into the meta.
It's also not the worst thing to just play as well. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
like the difference from an 8,000 to a 7,000 reduction isn't actually as massive as say, like, unfortunately, the Ifrit. Like,
well, it's not like damage. It's power loss. So it's a combat trick as well.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, because you can attack with your smaller guys, and you can just. And what's even worse is that you can play Zapped, and you can attack with Zapped, and then search for this remove, and then you can search for the other remove and just kill a guy as well. I've been doing that a lot with the new Fritz and Monofire. Feels pretty cool, because it means that you're always attacking. But yeah, I mean, like, I've never liked the 7-drop Odin, and one of our local players is, brings the 7-drop Odin, and I'm like, why do you play that card? Like, it's not worth it in Mono Lightning. And then he's like,
and then you attack into them, and immediately it validates.
Yes. that happens. But then he, like, you know, before the match, he's telling me that it's for the skill shots. I was like, yes, of course they're for the skill shots. The thing is, what's up? Yeah.
On this topic as well, something I think about with this Odin is, when I'm putting it, I want a minimum amount of cards in there that don't do anything if I draw them, and I'll allow a few. So if this is kind of going back to Kevin's point, where it depends on the deck itself as well. But if you've already got some other cards that maybe you're trying out just to see what they're like, or maybe you're meaning it, or maybe they are just genuine cards that aren't too great to draw, then or maybe they're cards which are fine to draw the first time, but you don't want to see them the second or third time, I'd count those as cards that are going against this quota of of cards like a second or third Fusuya, for example.
Yeah.
And which is funny because Odin goes really good with with Fusuya.
Yeah.
But maybe that was a bad example. But yeah, what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's another consideration I was taking into account when I'm deciding whether or not to play 7-drop Odin.
And the difference between, like, I guess the 7-drop Odin when you compare it to, like, other lightning's removal that's, like, not Elcid, is that this is probably the only one that can, like, kill 6 drops and plus, if that's ever relevant in your meta, I guess. And even with 5 drops, you have to go like 5 backups with Idia, if you ever want to do that.
Yeah, this is why I say it depends if you're thinking if there's something that only Odin can answer, then that's
and your particular attack, yeah.
Odin goes decently with mid preview.
Oh, okay, because you can discard it.
Mid-preview?
Mid Privia is the new lightning backup. No one's playing it actually. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad that no one is playing it.
This is a good segue then, because we could discuss this deck.
Yes, with all the cards we just mentioned, and exactly the concepts that Chris mentioned.
Okay,
with useless card draw.
Hold up, Kevin. Can you send me the deck list?
It's in the Discord.
I already have.
There's also Orisha as well to consider with this sort of thing too. Orisha can get rid of Dead Odin.
Yeah.
Finest Goda.
And Zodiacs.
Oh man, this list is wonderful.
Yep.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's quite beautiful.
It's art. It's art.
Kevin, walk us through this this Pollock painting of it.
No, the very first thing I want to know is why is it called Goda or Finest Goda?
Goda.
Because it's kind of a cheesy strategy.
Okay, yeah.
It's not exactly the most fun to play against. I think in one game I had an Odin on top of my deck 4 turns in a row. That was pretty fun for one of the players in that game.
No, so, wait. In that scenario, Kevin, did you make it known to both players that Odin is there?
Yeah, all 4 turns.
Yeah, but just before you go into that, because you brought that point up, I don't mind hitting an Odin EX bursts when it happens randomly. Like, that's just life, stuff happens.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But when you know that there's an Odin on top of your deck, and when it happens multiple times, it just demoralizes you, man. It just is like, I'd rather you, put it there secretly without me knowing and me hitting into it than me knowing it and hitting into it. It's it's a huge difference. Trust me, guys.
I remember whenever I hit something on top that you knew about, you just hit into it anyway.
Yes.
Because I described Lightning, the one that in this deck that puts the Odin on top.
Yeah.
I'd describe her as so she deters an attack or she kills one of her ads forwards.
Yeah. Okay, so like generally speaking, right? I depending on the type of deck I'm playing and depending on the risk reward, I'm okay doing that once, but I'm not okay doing it like multiple times, right? Usually every other deck that I played against does it like maximum 1 time, but playing against this deck against Kevin, it's just like demoralizing, man.
Actually, it's pretty funny because I found the best way to beat this deck is actually just running into all of them with haste forwards.
Yeah.
Because you only need 7 haste forwards to win the game.
So you say your weakness is haste forwards, Kevin?
Yes.
So you know what you need to play.
Edward?
No.
What?
Trickster!
That's quite the spice.
Just play a trick.
Randomly do well against Scions.
Yep.
You can you don't even have to go that you can play. No, you can't. I was thinking about playing Gladiator, but you have no other targets.
Yeah. So anyway, to the deck.
Anyways,
it's just made to maximize the probabilities with Yuna to get as much value off her as possible. There's like tons of top of the deck manipulation with Oracle, Astrologian, and stuff. So generally you'll never hit dead on Yuna, although it's happened to me quite a few times. And there's a lot of like situational summons in here, which are like pretty dead cards. Most of the summons you aren't casting if you draw them. Which is good because there are like multiple outlets for them. There's Halicarnassus, you can discard the cards to break forwards, and Creel is just like a solid wall. with the number of summons you're drawing usually.
Also, I'd say something like Shantoto counts as well as something to spend your dead summons on.
Yeah, because you just get to dump a bunch of them to play.
I don't recall playing against Mateus in your. Did you change it or is it pretty much the same?
No, I'm pretty sure I've always had.
You've always had Mateus. Okay.
No, you're a lucker then. You haven't run into a.
Something interesting is so how come what's it called, Ephemeral Summoner? So how come that's not in the deck?
Because there are only like 6 water summons.
And only 3 of them are really relevant for you, right?
Actually, I don't think any of them are particularly relevant with Ephemeral Summoner because if I'm putting Fanfare on top of my deck, I just play the forward with it, so it's like pretty counterproductive.
Yeah, and you don't have like a better sack target.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because Ephemeral Summoner only searches for water summons. That's a problem.
Also, no Fusoya. You got 3 Cosmos.
Oh yeah. I can't. So, I tried playing Vusoya, but it's like
okay.
Really clunky with the hands that you just get Yuna and the Cosmos. The Cosmos is more for color fixing rather than playing multiple light cards.
Yeah.
Because you can't always have your Krill in play, right?
Yeah.
Have you considered?
It could be the Moogle that makes the Moogles all make any color.
Maybe.
It itself will do, and then you're out of mission.
Yep.
Yeah, and then well, I mean, like, wait. If you do that, Kevin, then you can take out Poo Poo for more other different summons, right?
I guess I could. I don't know. I think Poo Poo's too strong. When you have 0 cards in hand with Yuna, because you're just drawing 2 for 1 CP, and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1 true CP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have Yuna in play and you draw like Seymour and another lightning card, play Seymour, go find Poo Poo, use Yuna, play Poo Poo.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Ephemeral Summoner as well. Like if this, because like the thing is, even if you've got a whole bunch of backups, you don't have to feel bad discarding your last card for Ephemeral Summoner because you'll probably get something to do with your backups.
Yeah, that's true.
You mean Yuna?
But yeah. The bigger problem is finding space because there are definitely cards I'm not putting in the forward line that I kind of want as well.
So why Astrologian?
That's his favorite card, Jared.
That is oh wait, oh that's the wrong Astrologian. Oh no.
Oh oops. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just meant to be the one that draws
your backup. Yeah.
If the top card is a backup, it draws it. Yeah.
Oh okay.
I don't know why. Wait. That was fine in the previous list. I don't know what happened in this one. But yeah. That's the one that reveals the top card of your deck.
I'm bringing it up on stream. Yeah.
Which is like, if you reveal something dead with Yuna, even if it's not a backup, it's just good to get it out. So the next turn you can have another try at it, because it's really important not to draw dead with Yuna because it's your main value.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very good card. Like, a lot of Japanese lists are using it as well. You know. Like not even in this type of list, like in just mono water.
Yeah, because the synergy with Yuna is pretty insane.
But what about Mid Privia? So.
That was like a last minute one of include because I just felt like I wanted more backups I could like pay for in the like the midish game. It's kind of like another Mustadio, except just like slightly different. It also like gives me another way to discard my useless cards like Cosmos and Odin and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, can you discard Cosmos for him? Oh, you can. Wow, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And kills Emperor for when Emperor is annoying you.
Yeah. Because Emperor can't prevent him. Although I can just use my summons on Emperor mostly.
Oh, but what summons are you really killing with him? You only have like Odin, Mateus.
That's generally good. Valor also combos with things. I've actually taken a lot of the removal I had before out of this list to put in some of the more. The Carbuncle It was it's pretty much. That's a really important card against any deck that plays Phoenix, because that's pretty much the turn that wins me the game when they commit to a Phoenix and I just carbuncle it.
I have been terrified of somebody playing a carbuncle ever since.
Yeah.
I've started playing Phoenix decks.
I've definitely felt its impact, because once I drew it really early against a deck that I knew was playing Phoenix, and then I'm like, okay, I'll auto-mission it back so I can draw it later. And like 10 turns later, I still hadn't drawn it on the Phoenix turn, which and if I had it in hand, it would have won me the game then. So I definitely think it's like a good card to include.
Yeah, because like you can play around Kaitsa, like you can see it there, and and eventually, like if your opponent just is keeping you off of Phoenix, you do other things instead. Whereas like if you get caught out by a carbuncle, that's it. That's the whole dog and pony show. You're done. You're finished.
Yeah, that is true. It's just most decks can't support that extra card to put in a deck.
This deck has a lot of other things you can do with the carbuncle.
Exactly. No, I'm not saying it's a bad engineer. I'm saying most decks, carbuncle is usually a bad card in most decks.
I'm imagining a situation wherein you're like they go to Phoenix, you're Yuna, and you activate Yuna in response, and carbuncle's on top.
That was the dream scenario. That was what I was like kind of envisioning when I had the carbuncle. But
for those high rolls,
the true heart of the cards moment.
Yeah.
For those high rolls.
Yeah. This is taking me back to the Kunmi and Celis combos.
Oh yeah.
We're like facing off for that. Yeah. Oh, you really want that summon, don't you?
I've had some pretty like heart of the cards moments, because I'd reveal a dud card with Yuna, and then they go to their turn, they make a play, and so I'd astrology the card away, and then have another go, or like I'd astrology the card away when they attack, so have another chance for it to be an Odin or something and blow them out.
That's so cool. I might shamelessly copy this deck, Kevin. This is like so much the sort of thing that I want to be doing.
The other thing, Kevin, why don't you talk about your experiences when you tried to put just good value non-EXing summons?
Oh yeah. So like in the process of getting to this, I thought I'd tried like two different ends of the spectrum. So I made a list with almost no EX-pressing summons, and just like wanted to cast the summons with Yuna, and then
for value, obviously, like you know.
Yeah. So I included the highest value summons like Diablos, Ramu, and stuff like that. The multi-mode ones, it's really strong.
It didn't quite work.
No, yeah, because I think it was a bit too slow, because I had to cast them with Yuna, and like missing with Yuna, as unlikely as it is, it like kind of lost me the game when it inevitably did happen. And then I went the full opposite direction and had 43 EX bursts, which was a lot more annoying. Definitely, because everything was an EX burst. And it was really funny against people who didn't know the deck. I just flip over the top card and point it at an opponent's forward before flipping over the card, and they thought I was cheating, because they thought it was, you know, but I just knew it was almost always going to be an EX burst. And then I toned it down. This one has 27. Yeah. Which is a bit more than half the deck, so I'll get 3 or maybe 4 if I'm lucky. EX burst, which is good, because most of the EX bursts are like more of the impactful ones this time.
Yeah, because essentially this isn't like a value deck. This is a control deck, and control decks
kind of
get hit early and mid game. So like that's why putting your deck full of these good value summons doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have enough value when your opponent is just beating you up, you know?
It's really funny though, because sometimes I just randomly play like a tempo deck. I just like play Unit Zidane and just like watch them hit me.
No, yeah. Zidane. Talk about a little bit about Zidane, because Zidane
was
like.
So Zidane was like the card I looked at. I tried like a similar thing like 3 opuses ago, and the trouble when I ran into when like theorizing the deck was, what if they remove all my forwards? I can't do anything, because I can't win the game. So I needed like a resilient threat that could like, it's just hard to remove and will end the game eventually. actually, and Zidane's essentially the only card that does that.
Well, the Sin can end the game.
I guess Sin could end the game. Yeah.
So now we just got to think how to get rid of your light characters.
Yeah.
So if you break your own Cosmos, while you've got a Fusuya in play.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Easy. There we go. And then you can play your Sin, and then win the game.
Is there maybe room for
carbon?
Is there maybe room for Layax in this deck? Do you think?
I don't know. Layax would be probably pretty hard to play because I could only play them off Shantoto or Cosmos.
Yeah.
And there isn't much incentive for him to do that because he isn't a forward heavy deck.
No. I think Layak would be a strong card.
Like Layak lets you play all of the summons in your hand.
Yeah, I could play a 4-drop summon on my turn, and when they attack, I can play another 4-drop summon off the top of my deck again and stuff. Layak could do some pretty degenerate things. I think it's too hard to play though.
Because I've been enjoying looking at some Phoenix lists that are just shamelessly running Layaks and things.
Yeah.
So.
How useful has Kyle been? Has it been super important?
It's been pretty funny because I think it was one game where they had an on-attack damage ability, and Kyle managed to defend against that twice, and I had no cards in hand, so I drew 2 a faster turn, and then they were attacking for lethal. I'm pretty likely to draw a summon. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Oh really? Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
She managed to stall those turns pretty well.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really interesting how this unit spawned so many different archetypes. Not archetypes, spawned a whole new archetype in different decks.
Yeah. Like the Wind Water unit lists have
with this new
pretty
unit.
Interesting.
Yeah,
with the
new
Gen. Why?
Or the Water Lightning with the unit.
Yeah.
There's one like
this
that.
This is pretty much like a Water Lightning shell with all the OP Earth cards.
Yeah.
I love the Zeramus there.
Oh yeah. I had more, but
What do you normally get back with that one?
It's Helicarnassus. I tried to, but if I hit it on 2 damage, I can get back Zidane. But getting back Lightning with it, and the one in the list where I ran 40 Express, getting back Lightning multiple times just was pretty devastating.
Okay, no, this is a very important question, Kevin. How many times did you Gestalt drive?
I have Gestalt drive twice.
Amazing.
Ooh, that's more than anyone else ever.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's just one opus with this deck.
That's like 2,000% more than anybody else. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just cool.
Gestalt drive is actually really it's such a swing when you do get it off. I often find myself actually playing towards this Gestalt drive, because it's often a swing that the opponent can't come back from. Especially with all my
what I would recommend is maybe a 1 of 2-drop Lightning. She can make you proactive when you're not proactive. Yeah, the haste one that you can just attack into and goes back to your hand.
That's actually interesting. I might actually give that a go. Replace one of the Zidanes.
When you played against me, I was playing a reactive deck, or my hand was very reactive, and then your hand was very reactive, and it was just 3 turns of us doing nothing, of us passing, drawing card, discarding, pass. It was a really weird game, but I don't think that maybe you're not proactive enough, and that Lightning survives a lot of removal because she attacks, goes back to hand, attacks, goes back to hand, and she's extra lightning S fodder, and she's never going to interfere, so to say.
It's pretty interesting because unlike Zidane, she doesn't have anti-synergy with Shantoto because Zidane sticks on forward. Shantoto will generally remove her, but I don't think she gets past anything Zidane won't get past. So I might give it a go.
I think it's about dealing those early points of damage. or like mid-range points of damage? Because how
I
many...
would.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would probably rather not like, waste CP that early into the game. Playing just to deal damage.
How often has Zidane's unblockable been? Unblockable ability.
Pretty useful because like once I draw Ramus and stuff, they generally only kill like the smaller forwards, which are the forwards that can generally block Zidane.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I think
Zidane is a clock, right? So like you need a way to close out the game, and he's kind of your only real way to do that.
Yeah. That's why he's that important.
Zidane's very important, don't get me wrong. But all I'm saying is maybe just try a couple of games with the Zidane sword out for the Lightnings and see how it goes.
I don't know. I think well, yeah, actually that's what
like just see how it goes. I'm not saying anything like
yeah, cuz like currently the two cards that give me the most trouble are the Lightning back at Red Mage that gives haste and Legendary VV. Because Legendary VV just kills most of my forwards. The important ones, the lower curve ones. Because I generally stockpile cards in hand, and it's also a 4K blocker just for Zidane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this person back in the North American Championships who got into top 32 with this all summons lightning deck. It wasn't mono lightning. It was like a whole bunch of different summons, backups, and their only forwards was like lightning and like some other sticky forwards. And all it is all the summon package and backup package, remove forwards and just play lightning every turn, attack.
Yep, pretty much.
And like he got into top 32 with that, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I really like that idea.
Yeah, it's kind of similar in concept with this deck. I think the lightning might actually be pretty good because that also clears my board for Fanfred and stuff. That's actually pretty sick opening, huh?
I feel like a lot of people overlook that lightning. It's probably one of my favorite lightnings.
Yeah.
Especially I remember that one time against one of our local players. I was playing against you, Kevin, and it was like you had your turn one. You played like two backups or something, and then I was playing mono lightning with that lightning. To drop back up. And then I was like, I have nothing to play. Oh no, I think I was going first. No, I was going first. It wasn't you. I was going first. I was like, wow. After I mulligan, I had nothing to play, and I was like, I guess I can play this lightning. And I played this lightning, attacked this lightning, got a point damage, and this lightning went back to my hand, and I passed the turn. And then he comes along and he's like, wait, what happened? Why did you have a point damage? And he's got nothing on the field. And I was like, I just got a card. He took a point of damage. that's what it was. It's literally what it was.
Pretty decent turn one.
Yeah, no, come on, that's decent anytime. What if it like at any point in time you can be like, this kind of card do you point of damage? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I like that lighting. Anyway,
well,
I think so too.
Wrapping up.
Yeah, definitely.
We've gone for quite a while.
We had about like 10 minutes pre-show.
Oh yeah.
So it's all good. Anyways, so thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate
it's been
you
a good year.
joining. Yeah. It's been very eventful, ups and downs, on seasons, off seasons.
we should probably let everyone know when we'll be back, which is not going to be until the new year. Is that right?
I am taking a break overseas, so. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like end of January or something, or even start of February. So it's
like a typical Christmas break.
Yeah. It's gonna be a proper Christmas break.
Our holiday New Year hiatus period.
Yeah.
So we were off around about that amount of time last year, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last year we started in February too. Oh, sorry, this year. Yeah, this year we started in February too. Anyways, so thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us in season 3. Appreciate you all that's listening, listening live and listening, through the podcasting app or on YouTube or anything like that. And yeah, we appreciate you and hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And all that jazz.
Yeah, and may your pulls forever be legendary.
May your EXs
That's really
forever
hilarious if someone was cursed to only ever open legendary cards. Like, damn, it's that hero I really need. Why?
And for whatever reason, they can't trade.
Yeah. I mean, like, they would never open an Illawa, and Illawa is, like, such a good card.
Well, I mean, they could just open Radiance forever.
Wait, what?
Oh, man.
Radiant.
Oh, man.
Legendary is good and tradable.
Yeah. It could be a bunch of bad legendaries. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do you guys want to say...
I think you can basically make a deck with just Phoenix targets. It's alright.
Legendary
The game's still worth playing, yeah. There's heaps of legendary. So the game is still worth playing for this person.
What are your backups, though?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Your backups are what? Minfilia, Shantoto?
And
The whole pack is legendary.
You've got Aerith and things like. Your Aerith can even cost 2.
That's it. Someone needs to make the ultimate pay-to-win.
The all legendaries deck.
A lot of legendaries actually don't cost that much.
Before we start up season 4, we would love you, lovely Moglers, just all legendaries list. Let's do the opposite of Pauper.
Wow.
The MogPod Money League. There we go.
Bling. If you guys want to do that, sure. If you do, then I'll post it on Facebook page.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting thing to do in the interim.
So yeah, do you guys want to say anything for the finale before we go?
See you next year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Thank you all for listening. It's been fun.
Okay. Number 1 Potato Boss and the MogPod hosts out. Okay. So like I did last time, I'm just gonna stay streaming. You guys can go if you want, but I'm just gonna stay for a bit so that it doesn't cut off when I try to download the video.
Cut off last time.
The secret post show.
Yeah, this is the post show. Oh, actually, it's all done now. Actually, okay, it's already.
Yeah, all right, we're done with the post show.
Oh wow, amazing! Post show done. Great. Okay. Bye bye.